Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, quick intro. I make videos on self-improvement. I talk about topics that are not very mainstream. If you consider yourself an open-minded person and you don't get triggered when you listen to information that's not very mainstream, then this channel is perfect for you. As you can see from the title, I'm going to be talking about raising your value and how that changes everything. And by changes everything, I mean in a positive way, right? So pick any area of your life, right? Whether it be finances, education, fitness, you name it. Raising your value is just going to put you head and shoulders above the rest, right? And you shouldn't do this for any vain or egotistical reasons. I'm just stating the facts. Becoming a more valuable person, becoming a more useful person is just going to help you out in the long run. There's a great quote out there. I forget who said it, but it's about a person who's valuable and useful is always going to have a room, right? He or she's always going to have room. They're not going to be viewed as useless. They're not going to be viewed as, it's just that guy from the village, right? Like our ancestors, right? You had to be useful in some sort of way, or, you'd probably be ostracized or labeled the village, the guy in the village who didn't do anything, who didn't contribute anything. And you don't want to be that guy. You want to be useful. You want to help other people. And again, not do it for any vain or egotistical reasons, in my opinion. So take a sport, for example. Take soccer, for example. What is it that separates the world-class players from the players that are just kind of average, right? And don't get me wrong, any professional player out there who's made it to that level is obviously better than 99% of the people out there, right? But what is it that truly separates the world-class players from the average players, right? The players who win everything, who are at the very top of their leagues, at the very, very top of the game. In my opinion, it all comes down to hard work, mindset, and professionalism, right? There's always a level of natural talent in that equation as well. Don't get me wrong. There are players out there who are you can just tell that they have that natural, talent to them, right? But from my observations, the most important thing, the players that, may not have the biggest natural talent, yet made it to the top of the game, they all share similar traits, right? No matter how much natural talent you have, if you don't work hard and if you're not disciplined and you don't take your craft seriously, then, you're not going to make it to the very, very top of the level. So those three things, right, in my opinion, is what separates the average from the truly great. So again, pick any area of your life and think about ways how, you can improve that area, how you can be more useful, how you can be more valuable to people. And you'll see the difference that this makes in your life. Just getting to a point where you're so valuable and so useful in whatever area that you pick, where you've reached such a high level that your value kind of just emanates outward, right? And people can instantly pick it up. So a lot of the time, I'm guilty of this as well. What happens is that we have a certain expectation of where we should be after a set amount of time, right? We say, okay, we should be here after a year, or we should be at this point after, 6 months. And there's nothing wrong with projecting a certain goal that you have, or setting a certain time frame of a goal that you have. But sometimes what happens is that we don't exactly meet that expectation or that goal, and we get discouraged, right? We say, oh, what's the point? I've been working this hard all this time and I thought I was going to be here, but I'm not. So what happens is that, we get discouraged and we stop working hard at the goal that we set for ourselves. And we're not as disciplined about the goal, and we slowly and surely just start, stop putting in the same amount of effort that we initially did, right, to the goal. So there's a great quote in the Bible that says, a man reaps what he sows. So, the input that you put into something, the amount of work, discipline, sacrifice, right, that you put into something, eventually you're going to reap the rewards. Don't get discouraged if you're not at the point that you projected for yourself, that you wanted to be for yourself. I think it's a more useful thing to focus on just putting in the work, right? Putting in the input, and stop being so focused on the result that we're gonna get. Again, I think that just grounds you a lot better. In my personal experience, it grounds you better. It makes you more motivated, and it keeps you disciplined, right? You can just focus on the day, the work that you have, for that day. Focusing on on the input, on the process, and not being overly focused on the goal and the end goal and where you're gonna get at the end of it. I think that's just a more useful mindset to have, a more productive one. Obviously, you do want to think about the end goal from time to time, but again, it's just, in my personal experience, it's been more useful, and it's been more of a balanced mindset to have, to be focused on the process of it all. So raise your value, be useful, and you'll see the changes that this has on your life, right? Positive changes. So if you made it this far in the video, I thank you for listening. Again, if you're new to the channel, I make videos on self-improvement. I talk about topics that, are not very mainstream, that can get people triggered. But again, if you're open-minded enough and you can handle information and do your own research, then this channel is perfect for you. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in the next one.